Okay. My name is Dan Young. I'm the executive director of the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. I'm here with three awesome coaches from the great state of Michigan, two girls coaches in the city of Detroit, and then a boys coach in Metro Detroit. And I'm really excited to be here. Just a little bit of my background. I started as a manager in college at Central Michigan. So started back in the VHSA days, and then worked as an assistant coach at Western Michigan. And then I've been a high school coach for 25 years. Been executive director the last few years. So go ahead, Todd, and then we can go around the room and explain who we are and where we're from.
My name is Todd Negocian. I'm from North Farmington High School, just about 15, 20 miles north of Detroit. This will be my 11th year as the head coach at North Farmington. Prior to that, I was at Oakland University as an assistant with Greg Campy for 3 years.
Awesome. My name is Monique Brown. I'm the head coach at Detroit Edison Public School Academy down here, down by the Eastern Market. And it's funny that Dan mentioned the VHS, and I was a coach over at Wayne County Community College in Detroit Persian, where we used the little small DVDs.
Yeah.
They're really small, and they were very irritating trying to put in a DVD player. So that's me, and we've grown into using Hudl now. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
And Adrian?
Yes, I am Adrian Smiley. I'm glad to be here. Thank you. I'm one of the assistant coaches at Detroit Cass Tech High School, and I predominantly coach JV, but I do a lot of the huddle for our varsity girls. And sorry, I'm driving home from work, but I work as an IT professional, so I'm really interested in Hudl and how I can help, the technology can help our girls and our parents also. And so I'm just happy to be on the call. Thanks for inviting us. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think the first thing we're going to talk about in coaches, we're going to try to give you what we've been doing, but also trying to find new ways to make things better. Like I said, some of them started with VHS, and then in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had the discs, and now we're heavy strong with Hudl. So the first thing that we wanted to discuss was, how do we use video best when we're scouting opponents? Todd, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, for us, it's, we're a little different. We don't play a lot of man-to-man. We're a 2-2-1 trap, and kind of just get after it for 32 minutes. So we use a lot of film and scouting opponents for out of bounds plays. We do a lot with shooters, knowing who people are. We try and really get opponents' last 5 or 6 games, make sure we get them broken down in Hudl, assist, and basically just compile stats from the last 5 or 6 games, so we know exactly who's shooting the ball, who's trying to be the man for other teams, and center our defensive pressure around that stuff. It really helps us with that. We don't have to spend as much time now actually watching the games. We can have Hudl break it down, pull all the reports that we need, and it saves us a huge amount of time from that aspect of it.
Now, question for you: how do your kids digest that as a team? Before, after practices, how do you get the scouting report across to them?
So we go over it just because our season is so different here in Michigan. We usually go over it the day before games when we do a lot of our pregame practices. We'll go over it, out of bounds plays, who's really trying to shoot it, and just put it on guys at the last practice we can before games to give us as much time as we can getting it broken down and getting things prepared for us as coaches so we know it. But our guys have been great with it since we've had the Hudl assist, which has probably been all 10 years that we've been there as a staff. It's just been phenomenal. And it's made it a whole lot easier and more convenient for our guys to just kind of weed everything out and to the point of this is what these are their shooters, these are their out of bounds plays, and we don't need to worry about much more with the defensive pressure that we put on people.
In moving from your opponent, how do you, and all coaches, how do you use Hudl and the data that you get from Hudl to set goals from year to year, or maybe from preseason to into January to postseason? How do you use that data to help you with goal setting? Maybe Monique, can you hear us on that one?
I can hear. I haven't particularly used it for goal setting.
Okay.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be my question.
How about individual breakdown and looking at strengths and weaknesses within your team?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I think for example, the breakdown that Hudl gives us game, for after games is incredible, because we can take that and match that up with something that we've performed in practice, and we can kind of show the student, the player, what we were trying to do and what they actually did.
Yeah.
It really helps them understand what we're really, because sometimes we can kind of go over it or talk about it, or we can walk through it in practice or try to make them remember in a game, and they don't really understand what we're talking about. But when they see it, when we can send an actual clip of what we were talking about, I think that's where it helps most.
Yeah, that visual is amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
You can say it, and once they see it and see themselves, it quickly can get the results that you're looking for.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all know, we've all coached players say, oh, I was at the midline or something like that. And you can go and say, no, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about midline. Or you can have a teammate that actually gets there and take that charge or box out and get that rebound. And you can kind of send them both. This is what I'm trying to explain to you when they don't understand. So that's what helps so much more with the breakdown, opposed from the VHS and the little disc that we didn't have, so.
Exactly. I'm curious, how much do you three Hudl in your practices, not games or scouting, but do you use it a lot in practice to scout yourself?
I think I utilize Hudl more in practice than I do looking at my team in games. My coaches kind of break down. I have one coach who breaks down the game footage of our team, and I have another coach that breaks down the opponent. But I kind of more so look at what we're doing in practice, sending clips on. It's so helpful for a player that missed practice, and they can kind of come and they can kind of draw the play, the set or the inbound play or the press breaker on paper and have an idea. You tell them you're this person, and they can kind of see where they're supposed to go. So when they are at practice, it helps. It helps so much.
Thank you, Coach. Adrian, Todd, go ahead, and then Adrian.
I'll just be real quick, Dan. We use it a lot in practice. We're kind of the same way as Monique. With our defense that we run, we film it every day, and then before practice the following day, we come in and watch it. It's Monique said, kids are kids. They're going to think that they're doing something. And we have the Hudl focus camera, so for us recording practice, it's super easy, and the eye in the sky just doesn't lie. Like it's real simple. They can say I'm lying to them. They can say any assistant coach is lying to them. But the tape doesn't lie. The eye in the sky, as we call it, doesn't lie. Like it's just, you didn't get it done, or you did get it done, and then so when kids see it on film, it brings up a whole new perspective.
Yes, indeed.
So we've really adapted to using film every day and watching it for 20, 30 minutes before practice starts the following day.
Thank you, Todd. Adrian?
Yeah, and I was just going to say that I pretty much don't have much to add to what the other two coaches have just mentioned, and we don't video record our practices very often. That's something we want to try to get, and we want to start doing more this year. But for games, we use it a lot for recording a game and then looking at that film or that game before practice in order, kind of like the coaches said, to say, okay, these are the things that we're going to work on. These are the things that we didn't do well or we did do well. And based on that, this is what we're going to do in practice today, and kind of have a little bit of film study before practice. And so then when we're in practice, it's not brand new. They've kind of have a reference point based on the film that we've shown them. But, and I also wanted to say, we used to record games and then have to upload them to YouTube. Sometimes we still do that, but we'd have to upload them to YouTube because we haven't been using Hudl for very long. And then we'd have to try to get those, get that link out to, parents or to a coach or to a player, and then try and, collaborate based on a YouTube video. So, all of our players have, all of our varsity players have a Hudl login. So we can kind of go and we haven't used it as sophisticated to break up clips to say, go look at clip whatever number, but we hope to start doing that in the future, saying as coaches, create certain clips and have certain players look at certain clips based on their position or maybe based on what we're trying to accomplish with them. So those are some of the things that I hope to be able to kind of learn so that we can start doing that. But we're definitely looking at, a recording of games as a whole, uploading them into video. Actually, we're recording the game and it's uploading itself into Hudl, automatically or simultaneously. And then we're going back and reviewing that video for, practice prep, for game prep, and then, for whatever else we need to use that video for.
So that takes me to my next thing, that I think coaches who maybe aren't using Hudl or maybe using it in a small capacity is how much time. I'd like to hear from you who have been coaching for a long time. How much time does this save you, the way we do things today with Hudl?
Well, I can say right away that I didn't realize that you could record a game and have it uploading pretty much simultaneously as you're recording it versus recording it
Right.
and then uploading it after the fact.
Right.
Because I was doing that for a long time, and I don't know if any other coaches did that or are doing that. And
We all did.
Yeah, and it takes
we all did.
forever. It takes forever to
We all
upload.
did. I remember sitting in the back of John Glenn High School with Brian Swinehart and all the other guys after big games and waiting forever.
Yes.
And I'm like, I got to get out of here. So, Todd, talk a little bit about the time you save now. And I know you coach football too, right?
I do. So, it saves hours. It allows you to spend more time with your family, more time, doing your normal job, and more time just to unwind during the season and do whatever you need to stay fresh mentally. But the Hudl Focus camera for us to be able to pull it up on your phone and say, okay, record for the next 60 minutes. As soon as it's done, it's already uploaded into Hudl. Same thing with a game, that it's already in the calendar. It records, uploads, and everything. It's just the way you can, for us, we pull all our defensive clips out. We make a playlist of all of our defensive clips from the previous game, and then we just go through it real quick. If there's something else if we know something happened on a slob or a blob, we just go ahead and pull those out. We sort by it, and then we don't have to watch the whole game over and over and pull this out, pull that out. It
Right.
allows so much freedom and flexibility to pull reports and pull clips exactly how we want. We can, it just, the options are endless, and the time, it just, you can't even speak of the time it saves, just because it's priceless, and it's unbelievable the amount of time that we get back.
I love it. Anyone can answer this one. I'm curious. So the game ends. Let's say you won, but you didn't feel like you played very well. When you go back and look at the film, and does it sometimes paint a picture that maybe they did better than they thought, or vice versa? You feel really good about how you played, and you went back and you went, wow, we may have won tonight, but if we continue to do this, and this, we're in trouble. So how has video opened your eyes either way over the years and helped you with staying kind of along your slow path of growth and improvement? And anyone can take this one. Anyone who feels comfortable, or all three of you in a row can talk about it. I think it's kind of an interesting topic.
For me, I mean, I can start out, Coach, and I was fortunate. I coached with Greg Campy at Oakland University, who's a big video and numbers guy. And so for us, it's as soon as we get it back from Hudl assist, I try not to look at the video until it comes back from Hudl assist after games. And as soon as we get it back, there's a few things we look at. We look at points per possession for us and for the opponent. We look at the percentage of offensive rebounds they get per possession. And then we look at turnovers, and those are the big three things for us. And we just figure that those three lead us to victory, and that's where it's at. There's been numerous times where you're like, man, we didn't play real well last night, and we look and we're like, we held them to, 0.6 or 0.5 points per possession. It's like, that's pretty good. I'm all right with that. But it didn't seem like that. It didn't seem like that, 24 hours ago. So, but it's very eye-opening. And just like we tell the kids, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. Well, shoot, neither do the numbers after games. And it's when we get stuff back from Hudl assist and how quickly they turn it around for us, it kind of puts you at ease, one way or the other. And you're like, man, we really did play better than we thought. Or, man, we snuck one out tonight. We need to get better real fast.
Coach Brown, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I think I've gotten something different out of it. That one player that you thought was doing really well, like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're not boxing out for real.
Right.
Or, oh, this kid right here, we need to find more minutes for. So I think it helps. That's what I think, opposed, not something in addition to that. This game was a really good game and we thought it wasn't, but I think I found more players that I probably should be playing more, or maybe I should sit a player she's tired. She's trying to play when she's tired, but we need to give her another 2 minutes. So that's why I think it helps me looking at the game film when we are looking at it. But I really like the fact that we said earlier, we'll play in Grand Rapids, and if they have it and they'll share it with us, they can watch it on the way home. You know what I mean? So that is so huge. And it's funny because they're watching and they're talking like, look what you're doing here. We were supposed to trap or whatever. But I like it because it's so quick, And
it takes the emotion out of it, right? You can go and really analyze
Mm-hmm.
the things that you're looking for and slow it down for you. Coach Smiley, did you have any comments about that at all?
Yeah, no, not much to add. Just I can say that the first thing that popped in my mind is that a couple of our coaches will say, at this point in the game, I think we did A, B, C, and D. So maybe 2 minutes left in the half, we ran a certain play or we didn't run a certain play that we were supposed to. So with Hudl and the video, not so much with the analytics of the reports, but with the video itself, we can go right to that spot and say, hey, did we run, like Coach Brown was saying, did we run this like we were supposed to run it? Or did this player do what we drew the play up for? And so you can just pinpoint certain specific times in the game or specific crucial minutes or crucial plays in the game, and kind of, instead of trying to remember what happened, you can kind of go back and get clarity on what really happened, kind of like both coaches were saying. So that's something that I initially thought of when you brought that question up. So
Really good, really good. Here's kind of how I want to wrap this up. I know we've gone over a lot of things, but as you build your team and you've all been successful, big time, as successful as any in our game in our state, in the state of Michigan. Monique's had 2 missed basketballs in a row and could have 3. No, you've had 3 now, right?
3.
And could have 4, and you've had multiple state championships. And I know Cass Tech has always been a power. And Todd, I would never want to coach against any of your teams ever again, because they're the best at North Farmington. But what I wanted to ask you, coaches, to kind of wrap this up, is how do you build confidence in your team as kids are constantly looking and comparing themselves to other people and where they stand in life and as a player? How do you use Hudl and your data and your film to build confidence in your groups? We'll start with, let's start with Monique, and then we'll go to Adrian and then Todd.
Well, first I would probably say, we're not always looking at the bad things. We're looking at more of the positive things and trying to find out, trying to give them something to look forward to, because we can't make it all bad.
Correct.
And our motto here is winners work, and we just kind of try and just get back at it and get to continue to work.
I like that a lot. Adrian?
I think what helps is, again, just showing them film on themselves, but in the context of a team. And yes, and I think especially with girls, they're always concerned about kind of how they look and if they measure up to the next player or how they measure up. So I think what Hudl does, kind of like Coach Brown said, you can kind of show them positives and negatives, and then you can also you can show them with video how to turn their negatives into positives.
Right.
And so I think video helps with that. Video helps them to kind of see, again, some of their accomplishments. So that builds, I think, that builds confidence in seeing, like, hey, these are things we've been asking you to do. We've been, specifically you yourself, we've been asking you as a player to do this, and you see on this particular clip, you're doing it. So keep doing it. Yeah.
Doing it.
And again, the things that they need to improve on, these are the things that you need to improve on. And us as a whole, we do it well or we don't do it well. So kind of relating them specifically, the skills that they have, to the team in general, and then also to their growth and their gaining confidence by showing them you are growing. So now keep growing in these particular areas that you're doing well and the areas that you're not doing well. So
That's well said. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Todd?
I think the biggest thing for us is we really try and bring kids in and watch film with them as often as we can in one-on-one. It's one thing to be, in a classroom or in a team room and watch it as a group. But I think when you bring kids in one-on-one, you just got to explain to them, you need to be the best you. You don't need to be somebody else. I need to be the best Todd Negocian that I can be. I don't need to be Dan Young. I was fortunate. I took over from my dad. I don't need to be better than my dad. I need to be me and be comfortable with me. And that player needs to be the best him or her that they can be, because we're not going to ask you to do something you can't do. And here's video that you can do it. Now we just need you to consistently do it. And you have it in you. We know you can do it. And that's the biggest thing that we've been able to do, to show kids, like we always say, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. It shows that you can do it. Now we just need you to do it more often and more consistently, because that's what's really going to help you help the team.
That's really good. I know that in coaching in college and then coaching in high school for many, many years, it can be a struggle sometimes to convince the kids that they're good enough. You are good enough. And I think the more you watch your opponents and then study your own team in video, I think it starts to slow. I know it slows down and the game for the kids, and it starts to give them confidence, like we're as good as them. And I think that's what's been really powerful with the innovations that Hudl has come up with. I want to wrap it up with, is there's anything new that you have learned over the last couple of years through Hudl that you really, really like and maybe another coach doesn't know about?
For us, it's just kind of the reports. That's the biggest thing that we've been able to do as Hudl continues to expand the amount of reports, the goal setting, and different things they have in there. They're always coming up with something new. And I tell anybody that is with Hudl right now, reach out to your rep. They've been great with us, that if we have an idea, they'll pass it right up the chain of commands to their departments. They'll see if it's something they can work on and it's something that other people want. And they've been great with us for that. So it's best, any questions you got, pass on to your sales guy or woman, and they'll be able to help you out with it.
Coach Brown?
Right. I am still looking. I think the reports, when I didn't even know those reports exist. And when I found them, I thought I hit a gold mine, but I think I was a little late on it because my boys coach, he had been using them. And I told him, like, I said, so you didn't share this information? And he started smiling at me. So I think we're right on task with where we want to be. And I'm just excited to if they're improving like that, then I'm excited. I just know it's some things that we possibly can get done. And I think I'm gonna reach into my rep because I've seen something on other outlets that probably the pros probably use. And if we did that in high school, it'll be really, really hard for opponents, so.
Well, I think we're, Adrian, do you have anything you want to say to finish up?
Yeah, I was going to say what I found is really helpful is the help. There's kind of a help tutorial that really, if you punch in something that you want to accomplish in Hudl, it'll take you step by step by step. And I can't remember what it was, but I was trying to accomplish something, and it was sometimes the help, if you hit the help, it's kind of vague, but this gives you do this first, do this second, this third. So sometimes you wouldn't even have to reach out to your rep. That help is really it's good.
Those are all really good to hear because technology is changing daily, and literally Hudl is right there on the cutting edge. And I think as you dive into it more and more, and we have more of these types of roundtables and promos and clinics, and this Swish roundtable is an amazing event that Hudl has put together, I think coaches can start to realize how much time they can save and how much they can help their program and their kids on a reasonable budget. So we wanted to, again, from BCAM, the state of Michigan, the basketball coaches, just really proud and honored to be here with you guys tonight, and really enjoyed spending this night talking ball. I know how busy you all are, coming from work, heading to work, having open gyms, and it was really fun to be here tonight with you, learn from you, meet you, Adrian, and then to see Todd and Monique again, and Kaylee and Winston and the staff at Hudl. You guys are awesome, and I hope you have a great school year and start to your school year. Stay safe, and can't wait to see you guys in the gym.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Dan. Thank you,
Thank
Hudl,
you.
for contacting us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.